to four-receiver formation. Moniz going to take off. Nice straight arm. Oh, he got drilled at the 5. Michael Morgan brought the wood.
The shot heard round the island. Bryant Moniz, starting quarterback for UH, got rocked in the third quarter in a 49-36 loss to USC yesterday. Today, the UH athletics department says he got his bell rung and they're keeping an eye on him. Also injured in that game, Warrior receiver Rodney Bradley, who went for this diving catch. Landing on the ball, they say he's okay and has no broken ribs. Bradley will be listed as questionable, but is likely to play this weekend. Good evening. I'm Jamar Webster here with you today. Robert Kekala has the night off. After dropping game 1 of the season 49-36 to USC, there wasn't much to take away from that game. No moral victories in sports because a loss is still a loss. But contrary to my last statement, sometimes there's a place for moral victories. For example, if I were to tell you 588 total yards of offense, no turnovers, and 3 passing touchdowns with 2 different quarterbacks, and up against the 14th ranked team in America, you take that any day. That's exactly how the Warriors feel about their offensive attack moving forward. And even in a loss, the chemistry is still there.
A big thing we changed from last year to this year was all of us meeting together, and I think that really helped out a lot. You know, they're seeing what we're seeing, and they know what we're thinking, and that's the biggest thing. So I think all the quarterbacks, you can put any of them in there, and you know, the chemistry will be good.
We have a lot of chemistry now on offense, and we believe in our quarterback, and we believe as a wide receiving core that no one can stop us. And we know we got talented wide receivers, so we're just going to try to bring it every week.
Next shot the Warriors will have to bring it is at Army next week in West Point. Kickoff is at 12 Eastern.
Now with Dwayne Shimagawa.
Moniz going to take off. Nice straight arm. Oh, he got drilled at the 5.
Right now, we didn't put him back in because, you know, I wouldn't say he has a concussion, but I would say that I didn't want to take any chances.
It was the shot heard round Hawaii, but as of this moment, there is no update to the status of Bryant Moniz. The junior QB was knocked out of the game against USC last night, with his future against Army still up in the air. Despite that injury, though, the Warrior football team came away with a lot of positives from last night's game. The team hung tough against the 14th ranked Trojans, especially its offense.
588. That's the amount of yards the Warrior offense gained against the Trojans in the 49-36 loss. It's the second highest total ever tallied against the men of Troy. 3 receivers shined: Greg Salas, Royce Pollard, and Kealoha Polaris, who each eclipsed the 100-yard mark.
In the secondary.
Polaris shined the brightest with 3 touchdowns, including this impressive 65-yard score. He also notched a career-high 176 yards receiving. The Warrior offensive line, who lost 4 starters, was the biggest question going in, but they came out with almost all the answers.
I'm very proud of our offensive line. People have been bad-mouthing our offensive line and saying how weak they are ever since I took this job, and I hope they look at how they played and take a lesson on what good coaching is.
Although Hawaii was more than able to put points up on the board, USC made it look even easier. Trojan quarterback Matt Barkley tied a school record, throwing 5 TD passes.
I feel this was like a battle of the offenses, this game definitely. And, you know, they came out, they gave their hearts out, so do we. And so, you know, I'm privileged to be out here and playing this team. And, you know, it was a good battle.
On the defensive side of the ball, both teams were having problems stopping each other's high-powered offenses. Hawaii gave up 524 yards, including 246 on the ground.
You know, we got to stop the run as a defense. We had a few miscues, but make one promise: we'll stop the run. Come next week and come the following week. So.
The Warriors also missed a bunch of tackles, including this crucial one by Demetrius Davis in the first quarter, which led to the Trojans' first score. All in all, Coach Mack called the loss a disappointment.
It was a game that we let get away, and we don't want to do that, to go to bowl games.
The biggest question still remains at the quarterback spot after Moniz suffered this blow in the third quarter. Shane Austin may be the answer if Moniz isn't ready to go. The junior threw for 141 yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah, no, I'm always ready to start. I've been preparing, you know, the whole off season with the guys and everything. So I definitely have that mentality. You know, I'm ready for anything.
Now the Warriors now head to the road for its next 2 games. It's Army on Saturday, September 11th. Kickoff is scheduled for 6 in the morning. Get those clocks ready, Hawaii time.
University of Hawaii starting quarterback Bryant Moniz is scheduled to be reevaluated this weekend after suffering what the UH training staff is calling a head injury in last night's 49-36 season-opening loss to 14th-ranked USC at Aloha Stadium. Moniz threw for 269 yards and 1 score before being taken out in the third quarter following a controversial hit by Trojan Michael Morgan. Officials have not called the injury a concussion, but Hawaii head coach Greg McMackin has called the apparent blow to the head an illegal hit.
I have no doubt in my mind Mo got hit in the head. I saw it on TV while I'm sitting there speaking a foreign language to the officials. Maybe they didn't understand me, but every guy I talked to, all 5 of them said they didn't see it. All I care is the safety of my kid.
As for senior wideout Rodney Bradley, he left the game in the fourth quarter after coughing up blood on the sideline. Bradley was evaluated at the hospital last night and released after being diagnosed with bruised ribs. He's currently listed as day-to-day. Up next for Hawaii on the road against Army next Saturday. For a complete recap of last night's game against USC, including highlights, numbers, and reaction, head on over to our website, khon2.net.